I don't know about you, but these days it feels like the world and our lives are moving at hyper speed. The all-new Nissan Murano is an unapologetic refuge amidst the hustle and bustle. In the Nissan Murano, you can take a beat, catch your breath, and re-energize. With its elevated modern interior and bold new exterior, this vehicle stands out. Its massaging leather-appointed seats melt away the tension of a busy day, adds to that feeling of refuge. Optional features like panoramic moonroof that adds tons of natural light to its roomy cabin, and ambient lighting sets the right vibe. So crucial in dreary winter days. The Bose premium sound system helps you escape further into your favorite music. The Nissan Murano and all its features gives you the greatest rush, while not feeling like you're rushing at all. Find your moment of calm in the all-new Nissan Murano. Drive the all-new 2025 Nissan Murano today. Features listed or available upgrades.
Hello and welcome. I am your host, Kimberly Lovey. I am a wife, a mother of two. I'm a businesswoman, a brand builder, blogger, and podcaster. I'm here to connect with women just like me who want to optimize their life while looking and feeling our best. Together, we will remove limiting beliefs and dream to become our highest and best version of ourselves. We will explore both mental and physical aspects of self-improvement while forming a community, a sisterhood. Before we dive in, please subscribe to my podcast and give me 5 stars. Hi, I am your host, Kimberly Lovey. Now, we all know 2020 has been a wild ride with many unexpected twists and turns. Many of us may be left feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, and a little confused. As we approach the new year, we all need a little reset. That's why I created the Reset Button Bootcamp. It's a 3-day virtual conference for women like us that just need time to take a breath and get re-energized and refocused for the coming year. I provide you with practical tools and templates while guiding you through each step so you can regain your confidence and happiness. You will leave feeling like you have renewed energy and a solid game plan for the new year. If you're interested, head on over to my website at kimberlylovey.com/courses to grab your spot. Spaces are limited, so don't wait. So today's topic is all about knowing yourself and being authentic and talking through why it matters. And I'm going to give you really specific information about this and things to think about and contemplate. And I'll give you some examples of myself and maybe a couple others. And hopefully you guys will, just have something to really consider as you move about your day. So basically, the purpose of this podcast is for me to try and give you the gift of being better. And I can't give it to you, but I can at least give you some tools. And as somebody in my 30s, I'm almost 36, I would like to say that a lot of my audience is probably in that same age range. And I feel like by the time you're in your 30s, and this can go on 30s plus, but it's time to refine our lives, and it's time to refine your relationship with yourself and optimize your life. You should be refining your craft, and you should be getting better. So I want to step through some specifics about what that looks like. And I think a good place to start is just really understanding and evaluating who you are. So the reason why this came up is because I had somebody that I ran into somebody that I used to work out with, and it was in a group setting. And she said something to me that really made me think. And she basically said, I said, "Oh, how are you doing in quarantine?" And she said, "Okay, I haven't been able to work out really. I got that mirror thing, and I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah, I've heard about that. How is it?" She goes, "I never use it." I'm like, "Oh, really? That's interesting. Too bad, because it's like, I think a decent amount of money. I'm not sure." So it just really struck me, because then she said, "Yeah, I think I just need the energy of other people around me." And I I was like nodding yes, because I'm the same way. But what struck me the most is she's about my age. And I found it very interesting that probably in her mid-30s, she's just now figuring that out. And that's fine. It's fine. I don't know. I feel like it's important to know those types of things about yourself and start figuring them out as early as you can. So for example, with fitness for myself, like I've figured out I don't want a personal trainer because it's too much attention and I like to cheat just a little bit. And then with respect to being in, say, like a giant fitness class, I feel like I'm in a fishbowl. And I feel like if I'm at a gym in a giant class, all these people are staring at me from outside and it's just uncomfortable. So I figured out that, okay, I actually like semi-private, which is like, maybe 20 people or something in a class, because I do like the energy from other people. And I do like that the instructor kind of knows me and can correct my form. And so I find classes that, tailor to that. And I know that about myself. And so when I go to work out, I'm setting myself up because I know it's something that I enjoy. Similarly, you can think about the type of workout that is good for you. So for example, I've tried yoga probably at least 20 times. I've tried the hot yoga. I've tried the vinyasa yoga. I've tried all the things. Okay. And I want to love yoga. I love everything that it, embodies. I like that it's kind of spiritual. There's just so many aspects. Like I even like the clothes, it seems like it's such my jam, but the reality is I don't like it. I hate it every single time, no matter what studio I've been to. That's just me. I've just had to accept it, and believe me, I've really, really tried to like yoga, and maybe that will change one day, but for now I just can't stand it. And it's disappointing, but it is what it is. And that's that. So, similarly, I really don't like spin classes. It hurts my knees. Maybe my legs are too long. I've tried to adjust my seat. I've done it on and off for years, but I don't feel like I'm getting like the running. Like I feel like my core is not, getting the benefit, like the same benefit as when I'm running, for example. So anyway, the point is that you should know yourself down to that level by now. And if you don't, I really, really encourage you to think about it. So the other aspect of kind of getting to know yourself that I think is just so basic that you should just know. So let's start with, are you a morning person or are you a night owl? And that is super, super important. I would actually start with that question because you should be setting yourself up for success. So for example, if you are a night owl and you have optimal performance at night, then should you be setting up your workouts for 5 a.m. and say to yourself, okay, I want to do a 5 a.m. workout. And then sure enough, maybe you do it once and it's like the worst experience of your life and you'll never do it again. And then here you are back off the horse. So if you're a night owl, you should just simply be able to recognize, okay, I'm a night owl. I prefer to work out after work. I just do better. 8 p.m. workout. Like my husband said to me, he wants to swim at night for exercise after work. And I mean, to me, that just sounds like terrible. But I mean, I support him fully, but I'm a morning person. I get up at like 6 a.m. naturally, even when our kids weren't home. They were sleeping over the other night at their grandmother's house. I still was up at 6 a.m. And Brian said to me, babe, no kids, go back to bed. I'm like, no, I'm up. It's just, I'm up with the sun. It's my circadian rhythm. So I think knowing if you're a morning person or a night owl is really, really important because you'll know when you're most productive. Like I know that I have way more energy in the morning. I talked to Brian about not like talking to me too late at night about things that require like brain power, like a decision of any kind, because my brain's already shut off by then, even like by 9 o'clock, like I'm spent, And I think that's really important for you to know about yourself and for your partner as well. We talked about the exercise thing. I think that's really, really important if you're going to try and set yourself up for, a good, fun, enjoyable exercise routine. And it changes. It does change. So I think that's really important. And then I think, with work, I think it's important. And I want to kind of go deep on this one too. So how specifically do you like to work, and in what specific environment do you thrive in? So I know, and I've known for a long time since I was in business school, that I did not want to drive to the same job every single day. I had already done that before business school, and I loved my job before business school a lot, but I just, that routine just felt like Groundhog's Day to me. Now, I know many people that love to drive in, they love to see their friends at the office, and they, thrive in that routine. And I totally get it. It's just, if I'm being quite honest with myself, like I started to dread it, even though I liked my job. So I knew that, and that's kind of why I chose a job that I'm not forced into doing the exact same thing every day. So I think knowing just like the physical environment that you like to be in. Also, what management style works for you? So I know I hate being micromanaged, like hate with a passion. I will literally shut down. And also, how do you manage? I'm very much a sink or swim kind of person. Like I will make sure that I'm vetting people in advance of working with them. If I have any control, usually I don't, but if I can vet them up front, that's great. And match skill set to task. But I would say as far as my overall management style, I support my team. I listen to them. I encourage them to think on their own, and, but I don't hover, and I want them to be proactive. I want them to come to me with things, and I train them kind of that way. Like I encourage them not to just be like sitting there, like waiting for my direction. I empower them, and I want them to be independent because I believe the people I work with are really smart and capable people, and I want them to thrive, and I want them to, grow, and I want them to feel like they have ownership of their part. And so anyway, yeah, but at the same time, if there's something like really, really difficult and they need me to roll up my sleeves and go super, super deep with them and work till 2 a.m, I mean, I'm there. I will not let you fail. It's just not happening on my watch. We're not failing. That's not happening. But I know that about myself, and I tell people that specifically. Like I communicate it to them of exactly how I work, and I come to understand how it is that they work. And then, as far as meetings, I really try and keep meetings short unless there's an enormous amount of information in a session. I like really, really short meetings, like 30 minutes max if possible, 15 minutes where I can. I just think that level of understanding and awareness of who you are is going to propel you forward, because what you need to do once you have a good baseline and understanding of yourself kind of across these different metrics is you need to, number one, evaluate yourself, understand exactly who you are, and be honest, because sometimes you want to be something and you're not. Maybe you are a micromanager and you're like, you know what, I wish I wasn't, but that's just my style. Like maybe that's just who you are. And maybe if you want to work on it, you can, but, evaluate yourself both personally and professionally, and then communicate in a way that helps people to align with you and work with you or live with you or be in a relationship with you. I think knowing your needs, knowing your strengths and your weaknesses is so important. And again, we're in our 30s, let's say, maybe we're in our 20s, maybe we're older than our 30s, and that's cool too. 30s and 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. We should always be learning about ourselves and always trying to optimize our lives. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys along the same lines is around diet. So this one I know is really tricky. And so I think it's important for you to know and evaluate when you feel your best. For example, I've learned that I'm prone to low blood sugar, so I know for a fact I cannot skip meals. However, I also learned that I need to do a cardio fast. For example, I don't eat before my workout because I'll get cramps, and I like to run. So I get up early, like way before breakfast time, and I will go on a run, and then I eat right after. so that I'm not getting, grumpy and lightheaded and all of that. And I also recently realized that I like to have my dessert earlier in the day because it works better for me. I'm not up late. I don't feel full. I don't feel like gross. Like if I eat my dessert, say after lunch, like a small little ice cream cone or something, then I kind of get that sugar rush, but then I've like already satisfied that craving. And so I've learned that, and that's not conventional, but that's kind of what I do. And then when I eat poorly and my legs feel like elephant trunks, I know I need to rein it in. I think, just being honest with yourself, because your own diet is really totally up to you. It's the only thing, or not the only thing, but it is one of the things that really no one can do for you. So I think having a really just honest kind of discussion with yourself and like paying attention to your body and knowing what works for you and things like that is super important. And I think also you have to be honest about your own personal goals. So based on what you feel compelled to do. So for example, I know I could probably get really, really fit, but I also know it would be at the expense of eating everything that I would like to eat. And right now I just don't feel like doing that. I just, I feel like I'm kind of like at a decent enough place where I'm kind of in this like balanced state. But it depends on your goals. So you have to be realistic with yourself about honestly, what are your goals? Like I could sit here and say, oh, I wish I was like in the best shape of my life. Yeah, of course. But like, I'm not really willing to put in like the full scale of work and commitment to to get what I'm not really willing to do what it takes to get there right now. I'm not in that headspace and it's not as important to me. I'd rather be able to like have dessert with my family and enjoy and really kind of eat whatever I want in a balanced way, And finally, I know I'm not a good dieter. I am much better when it comes to intuitive eating. So for example, just eating what you crave, eating when you're hungry, and trying to focus on more vegetables, fewer carbs, and more protein. And I know I don't love protein, so I have to sit down and figure out what are the proteins I do like, and I need to focus on it with intention. So the last few days we had Indian food, we had pizza, we had cake, and this went on for days. This wasn't like, a one-day thing, because one day is one day, but like when it's going on for a week, and I love my beer at night, one beer a night usually. It's like my little happy hour, and I'm not willing to give it up. Like it's something that I like. I look forward to it. So yeah, just knowing that, okay, I've been really just bad on my diet. Yesterday, I ate way too many sweets. And so today I finally said, okay, I have stocked up my fridge with healthy foods. I'm going to focus on eating vegetables and proteins today. Now, I ended up having like a small croissant, and I don't even think twice about it. I'm like, now that I'm paying more attention today because I'm like purposely focusing on eating healthier and eating right. Like, okay, yeah, I noticed that I ate that and I know that, and it's fine. Like, I don't like obsess over it at all. It's just more like having the intention, whereas I normally just kind of, eat whatever I want. So yeah, I think as you're trying to optimize yourself overall, as you're getting older and, getting to know yourself better and better, I just think it's really important to really understand who you are. So going back, what type of workouts do I like? Am I a morning or night person? What's the working environment that I like, and what don't I like, and what are my strengths and my weaknesses, and then what kind of diet makes me feel the best, and what are my goals around that. And I think if you can just really be honest with yourself and find your authentic self, you will be able to take all of that information and set yourself up for success. You'll be able to just live so much more enjoyably. You'll be able to, just reach your goals maybe because they're tailored and customized in a realistic fashion to you. And that's that's, I think, where you start to feel really, really good and get some positive momentum and like set yourself up with like really healthy habits and good schedules. And, you know, it's part of adulting. No one can do this for you. You got to put in the work. So those are just some of my observations and some examples of kind of what I've learned about myself. And I would love to hear more about, you know, what kind of works for you guys across these different metrics, and maybe other things that you kind of consider as you are learning more about yourself. All right, that is it for today. Now, as you know, some of our best conversations actually happen after the show. So I want you to find me on Instagram at Kimberly Lovey and let me know your thoughts about today's show. You can screenshot this episode and let us know what your biggest takeaway was and tag me at Kimberly Lovey and we can share it on our stories. I will see you again, same time, same place next week.